Says the Gemara, 11a1, Tanu Rabbanan, right side. Tanu Rabbanan, Munbaz HaMelech. There's a story with King Munbaz. The note says he was one of the Hashmonaim kings. He was a son of Queen Helene. Marsha says in Midrash that he was a goy converted to Judaism. Okay. Shebizbezo saratav avotav. He finished his treasuries and the treasuries of his forefathers. B'shnei basoret in the years of famine, he was giving out to the poor. Charu alav ahav ubeit aviv. His brothers and his father's family, they banded together against him. They were fighting him. Amru lo, said to him, your fathers hoarded their wealth and gave you a huge fortune with your forefathers. And you, instead of increasing it, you wasted them. You're spending all of it. Why are you destroying work of generations? Munbaz says, my family hoarded wealth below on earth. By giving charity, I hoarded it in Shamayim. Now I put it in the safe in Shamayim. As it says, with truth will sprout from the earth, charity will gaze down from heaven. So where does your charity go? It goes to Shamayim. Number 8, in Tehillim, when the Jews are observing the mitzvot, then the merit of their charitable deeds, which abides in heaven, will gaze down to bestow reward. So the only way to take money with you after Olam Haba is if you give it away. He says further, my fathers kept their wealth in an insecure place. Number 9, literally a place where the hand of others controls. No one's fortune is perfectly safe from loss or destruction in the world. But I hoarded my wealth in a secure place. Nobody could touch it. As it says, the pasuk in Tehillim, charity and justice are your throne's foundation. It's under Hashem's throne. Who could touch things under Hashem's throne? Nobody. So it's in a safe place. My fathers hoarded money that does not produce fruits. But I hoarded something that does produce fruits. Pasuk in Isaiah. Say of the righteous man that it shall be good, for they shall eat the fruit of their good deeds. So you see, good deeds have fruit. What does that mean? They have fruit. 12, the wealth they hoarded did not produce any fruits from which they could benefit. It was just sitting in the safe. It doesn't make any fruit. 14, charity and kind deeds are among the few mitzvot that produce fruits to be enjoyed in this world, and even in the principal, reward for their performance remains intact the world to come. Right? Usually there's no reward for mitzvot in this world, but tzedakah and a few other mitzvot get reward in this world and olam haba. So that's the fruit. My fathers hoarded stores of money. I hoarded stores of souls, meaning I have the zechut of saving a lot of people's lives. Shneimar, pri tzadik etz hayim lokech nefashot chacham. As it says in pasuk in Mishlei, the fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and one who acquires souls is wise. So you see, I save people's life. It's as if I acquired their souls. My fathers hoarded their wealth for others to use. But I hoarded the reward for my charitable deeds for myself. As it says, for you, it shall be charity. So the money they left, when they died, they left it for their kids. But my tzedakah, it's for myself. It's really for myself. 16, on a simple level, the verse teaches that returning collateral for a debtor's nocturnal use is considered a charitable act. Munbaz interprets it analytically. The reward for charitable acts in general will be reserved exclusively for you, the one who performs them. You know, when you take someone takes a loan from you. So if you don't trust him, you're allowed to take a collateral. What does it mean, collateral? You take an object from his house and you say, until you pay me back, I'm holding on to this. So the Torah says, however, if he's a poor man and he needs that item to sleep with at night, so therefore it's a mitzvah to give it back to him at night. Take it during the day, and at night when he needs it, give it back to him. That's considered tzedakah. And don't be a cruel person who says, no, I'm holding on to it, too bad. No, give it back to him at night. It's his pillow, it's his pajamas, whatever it is. You took collateral, give it back to him at night.
If you don't trust him, this is the reason you're taking it from him.
Right.
But now you're giving it back to him. If you don't trust him, how do you know he's going to give it back to you?
He's not going to run away. You know where he is. He wants the loan, and he says, listen.
How many people do we know that are around here that we know where they are?
So you take him to Bedin. If you made a contract with him, every loan has to have a contract. You give him a contract with a loan. It says in the loan contract, you need to give me a collateral. If not, everything is canceled.
It's not that simple. When you're giving a loan, let's say a bank gives a loan, they have more credibility to be able to take
Repossess, yeah.
Their property without. Useless.
Go to Bedin.
Not gonna help.
If me,
Beidin is not gonna help in the secular world. That's the problem because
No, why?
the transaction is happening in the secular world.
so if I'm talking about if it's between two Jews,
They don't care.
and if Bedin doesn't help, Bedin can't help, so they give you permission to go to secular court.
Doesn't help.
No,
Because
Bedin.
I cannot legally take his home. If I'm giving him money, I cannot legally take his home. It's not that simple.
If you put
Until he sells the house.
doctor, if you put in the contract that I am gonna repossess your home if you don't pay me back, it's valid. It's valid.
It should be as easy as I have the access to the keys. I can walk in at any time, but they don't give you that access. And that's how it should be. Otherwise, then there's no point of giving
I
anybody a
understand.
loan.
I understand. I have a loan with you, and it says if you don't pay back, I repossess your house. If you don't pay, so then I go to the Bedin. Bedin can't help me because you don't listen to them. They write me permission to go to Bedin, to go to a secular court. I go to secular court, and then the marshal kicks you out.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Try to get somebody out today.
It doesn't. You're saying no.
It's useless. Today, it's almost useless.
So what happens? Nothing.
Nothing.
You lose. They say too bad. Money's dead.
Money's dead. That's exactly what happens.
Wow.
If you're a smart individual, just keep going to people, get loans.
Yeah, or don't give money at all to anybody.
No, why? We said before that God's the guarantor. When you lose money, God will pay you back.
Willing, yes.
God willing, it's the truth. That's what it is. It's not God willing. It is. That's a fact.
Rabbi, but if you're the first lien holder, that's about it.
Yeah.
Basically, what he's saying that this year
First lien
maybe
holder until the guy actually sells his property. But if he's gonna hold his property for 100 years, you're not getting anything.
Then you
what he's saying
foreclose on
is since you gave the loan, you didn't get it.
Avotai ganzu leolam hazeh. My fathers hoarded well for this world. Ve'ani gazanti leolam haba. And I hoarded merits for the world to come. Shneimar ve'alach lefanecha tzidkecha kavod Hashem yasfecha. Pasuk says in Isaiah, your charity shall go before you, and the glory of God shall be your reward. 18, Rafal.
I'm still catching up, Rabbi.
Okay. Neria.
The verse mentions 2 of the 6 rewards of charity stated in the Gemara above, 9b, God's glory, refers to the divine presence, which is revealed in the world to come.
Remember, a guy who gives tzedakah, his children will be great speakers, right? And they'll get a lot of kavod. So you see.
Wants to give a lot to the guy, right?
So then, but then also it's olam haba. He's sitting for you olam haba, the reward. Okay. Im kana ba dira, harei ukan she'ayir. If he bought a house in the city, he's immediately treated like one of the citizens of the city, and must bear the municipal expenses mentioned in the Mishnah, right? So if a guy moves to a new town and they have to build a wall, build a gatehouse, pay for expenses for the guarding of the house of the city. When does he become included in the tax bracket for this?
There were 2 opinions. One said 30 days. One was a whole year.
Good. And then Mishnah says if he bought a house, immediately he has the status of a citizen of the city and has to pay. Okay, says the Gemara. Matnitin, our Mishnah, that says that once you buy a house, you are automatically status as a citizen. The lo Rishon Gamliel. It's not like Rishon Gamliel, this Mishnah. Why? The Tanya Rishon Gamliel says, In kana bakarka kol shu, harehu kan she'ir. Rishon Gamliel says, if a person buys the slightest parcel of land in the city, you are like the citizens of the city. Our Mishnah says you got to buy a house. But according to Rishon Gamliel, even if you buy a small piece of real estate, it's also considered enough to make you a citizen. But then we have a conflicting brighter that says Rishon Gamliel said something else. Im kana sham karkaro ele beit dira, harehu kan she'ir. Didn't one brighter say that if you bought a land that you could technically build a house on it? That's when you're like a citizen of the city, not when you buy a tiny land that you can't build a house. So it's a contradiction. So the Gemara says, no, Trey Tanai. These 2 braitas, not a contradiction. They're 2 different Tanaim. Aliba Rishon Gamliel. Each one understood Rishon Gamliel differently. So back in the day, they used to have everything by word of mouth. So 2 students understood Rishon Gamliel differently. One said, if you buy any land. And the other one said, no. Rishon Gamliel said, no, if you buy a land that you could technically build a house on. That's when you're like a citizen of the city. So since there's an argument, what Rishon Gamliel said, that's why it's not a contradiction.
When you say citizen, do you mean just the taxpayer, or do you mean
Yeah, to help pay for the cost of the security. Yeah.
If you associate with today's day and age, then any land would constitute a citizen. You pay tax and everything.
Right. No, I'm saying, but the people who live here in the neighborhoods over here, everybody has to participate in supporting each other. Obviously, there's no person going around collecting, but it makes sense that everyone should pay together for security. If we have a security issue, like supporting Hatzalah, that makes sense. Supporting Shmira, and if people are getting robbed and people's cars are getting jacked, people's houses are being broken into, it makes sense that everybody should participate in paying for some sort of security. Now, people have this mistaken mentality. Why should I pay? Let the big boys pay for everything, and I'll just, free ride. I'll go and jump on the bandwagon after. I don't want to jump in the water first to be I don't want to commit. Nobody wants to commit to anything. And that's a problem. And then what? People would rather suffer. People would rather get carjacked. People would rather get scared and put in chats. All this, oh, look what happened, look what happened, look what happened. We live in a horrible place, we live in a horrible place, we live in a horrible place. For the 99th time, post.
1998 Toyota Camry, nobody's going to touch your car.
Okay?
What are you talking about for parts they use?
The point is, we'd rather, the nature of people is we'd rather complain 1,000 times than to commit to fixing something. And that has to be broken. That has to be broken. And everyone has to realize that what does it mean to have achdut is riling everybody together for a good cause. And we can't even do that with security. That's the first thing we have to fix.
Don't be al-Fandi.
Says the Mishnah, don't be al-Fandi. Exactly. En cholkin et hachatzer, says the Mishnah. We do not divide a jointly owned courtyard against the will of a partner. Achi arba amod lezeh, v'arba amod lezeh. Unless there are 4 amod for this partner and 4 amod for that partner. So let's say we own a joint courtyard. I cannot force my neighbor who shares with me the courtyard that we jointly own. I cannot force him to split it with me, my side, his side, unless each one's going to get 4 amot, which is around 6 to 8 feet. Velo et sadeh, we cannot divide a grain field. Unless he's going to have 9 kav and I will have 9 kav. That's Tanakama. How much is 9 kav? Let's see. 22. Doctor?
22. Each partner must be left with a plot of land large enough to plant 9 calves of seed in it. Any lesser area is too small to be worth the effort of plowing and sowing. A kav is 1/6 of a se'ah, which is the amount of seed planted in an area 50 by 50 amot. Thus, 9 calves is 1.5 se'ah, and an area large enough for planting 9 calves is 3,750 square amot. 1 amah is about 1.5 feet. 1.5 feet to.
So how much is this field?
5,000 square feet maybe.
Let's see
No,
one
he-
second.
Yeah,
Amah.
around
3,000?
750.
3,750?
Around 6,000.
3,000, 1 second. Here, 864 square meters. What is this? How do you translate this to feet?
1 meter is 2.2.
864 meters to feet, right?
This is
Meters. 3 feet a meter?
around there.
So stay quiet.
864, 864, 2,834 feet.
Yes, Padre.
2,834 feet.
No, that's
It can't be.
That's 1.5 times, brother. It's do 3750 times 1.5.
Okay, hold on. 3,750 times 1.5? 3,750 times 1.5. 5,625.
Close to 6,000 square feet.
Yeah, how big is that?
6,000 square. So we have a 50 by 100. That's another 10 feet. 60 by 100 house.
55 by 100.
Ben Sadiq's house, let's say, it's a 60 footer. No, I'm saying it's one of the 60.
I love how you know this. Classic Forest Hills.
Okay. Yeah, I have 60
Lubin
footer.
Papitna.
It's a little bit big. No, which one?
That's joking. What are you saying? So whose house again?
60 by 100 house. You have
Sadiqo-
75 by
Sadiqo's
100,
house?
60 by 100.
A field the size of Sadiqov's house?
Yes.
Okay.
Lot house, lot.
Oh, the lot. Oh, with the grass, everything.
Yes.
The driveway, everything. So you have to
That's
have
the backyard.
you have to have a field double that size.
No, that
No, that's
size.
No, double that
double that
size, and you
people
split
separate.
each one gets.
Eye of the.
Okay, very good. Okay, good.
They use the shared driveway.
Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says we do not divide a grain field. Achye batishat hatziyei kabin nezeh, batishat hatziyei kabin nezeh. Unless there's 9 half calves for this partner and 9 half calves for that
4.5
partner.
cops, basically.
Yeah.
So he's saying not 60 by 100.
Half
He's
of
not
what
saying
the other.
120 by 100. He's saying 60 by 100
Yeah,
separated.
yeah. So he's saying half of what the Tanakama said. Velo tagina, we do not divide a vegetable garden. Achye ba hatzi kav lezeh, hatzi kav lezeh. Unless there's a half kav for this partner and half kav for that partner. 24. vegetable garden requires less work and yields more per kav of seed than a grain field. Thus, even a parcel for 1/2 kav of seed can be cultivated profitably. A half kav translates to 208 1/3 square amot, approximately 650 square feet. So you have to give each
so
one.
full kav would be 1,300 square feet.
Yeah.
So 1,300 umnosh na 9.
2069.
Good. Yeah. Rabbi Kiva Omer, Beit Rova. Rabbi Kiva says it has to be enough for each person to get a quarter kav. So the Tanna Kama said half kav, and Rabbi Kiva says quarter kav. Okay, what's the reason of all these arguments? Because we want to know what's the basic size for usage of all these items. So for a courtyard, basic usage, 4x4 amot. For a grain field, Tanna Kama says 9 kav is the basic usage. That's what normally makes sense for a person to use. And Rabbi Yehuda says half of that. And then we said garden has half kav, and Rabbi Kiva says no, quarter kav each person. V'lo tetarakli and v'lo tamoran. We do not divide a salon nor a hall. What is that? 26 various types of chambers in a palace. From Rashbam, it appears that a teraklin was used as a meeting place for officers. V'lo teshovach v'lo talit, and we cannot split a dovecoat nor a cloak. V'lo temerchatz v'lo tebet abat v'lo tebet shlachim. Not a banya, and not a place where you press the olives, and not an irrigated field, against a partner's will. Unless there be enough for this partner, enough for this partner. What is this enough? 28. None of the properties listed above may be divided against the will of each partner, unless the division will provide a proper share for each, as the Mishnah will now explain. So this is the law by laws of neighbors. You cannot say, it's my money, I have half investment here, I'm allowed to take the investment out whenever I want. No, depends. If you're going to ruin the situation for the other guy, because he's not going to have anything left over to use, so you can't pull your money out. Only when can you pull your money out? When you're going to have a nice 50-50 usable part for each person.
You get 5% for him to do all the work.
Okay, that you're a smart guy. They say hire lazy people because then they'll find out how to do it the easiest way. All right? This is the rule. Kol shehalek shmo alav holkin. Anything that's divided and retains its name, we divide. Ve'im lav and holkin. But if we're not, we do not divide it. Since each share does not perform the function of the whole. 29. Each share still performs the function of the whole property and therefore retains its name. For example, if through a division a cloak simply becomes 2 smaller cloaks, the property may be forcibly divided. But if, however, either share is too small to be worn as a cloak, the property does not qualify for a legally compelled division.
The jacket that they're talking about?
Yeah, they used to wear jomeh. They used to wear
How are you
jomeh.
going to split it?
I understand. You could,
Make a second one.
you could cut it in half, and you'll add a sleeve, and now you make 2 jomehs. Let's say the jomeh is huge. I wear triple XL. And we cut it in half, and we make a medium and a medium. And now we have 2 jomehs. So if we can make a medium and a medium or a small and a small, so you're allowed to force the guy to split it. But if it's going to be cut in half and it's not going to be anything left, you're not going to have ni tuda ni suda. So then you're not allowed to cut it in half. You're not allowed to split it.
That doesn't make sense. If I'm wearing a triple XL and I'm gonna split it with you, well, I have to use triple XL, so by default, I'm not gonna be able to use medium.
Well, technically, you could say that I can give it to somebody else. I can give it to somebody else in my
That has
family.
value.
No,
Or you can make it from a
Many
Jamaican
You have it up to your knees,
Mm.
and then you cut it. It becomes up to your waist now.
Wow.
Famidi.
Right.
Now you can
So
make
the butt, I
like
get the
like
top.
Yitzchak saying, you can make a vest. You can make a ornate vest.
He gets a skirt, I get a jacket.
Yeah, imatai. When does this rule apply? Zman she'en shneim rotzim. This is only when they both don't consent to divide. Avu zman shneim rotzim. But when both of them want to divide, hafilu pachad mikan yachloku. They're allowed to divide even if it's smaller than the minimums that we said above 30. This qualification is obvious. For the partners can surely do as they wish. It is only stated to the preface the following ruling of the Mishnah. What is the next ruling? The last ruling. Kitvei kodesh afapi shneim rotzim lo yachloku. But if partners own a divine scroll of Holy Scripture, they're not allowed to divide it, even if they both consent to doing so. Because cutting them is a disgraceful act.
Two partners partner up to do a Sefer Torah, and then they get into an argument and they say, I want to split it. They cannot do it.
And they
Which
should
logically makes sense.
they should come to some settlement where one buys the other one out. That's what they should do. Amar Rav Asi. We'll finish over here. Amar Rav Asi. Amar Rav Yochanan. Rav Asi says in Rav Yochanan, Arba amot shamru chutz mesheh petachim. 4 amot that we said is the minimum of dividing the courtyard. That excludes the area of the entrances. What does that mean? Go ahead, Rafal. You with us now?
Yeah.
33.
Since the entrance to each house is from the courtyard, each dividing partner needs to receive, in addition to 4 amot by 4 amot for basic courtyard use, another 4 amot in front of his doorway for the purpose of unloading his animals there. The Gemara below quotes a Braita, which states that he received an area of 4 amot deep along the entire width of his entrance. Thus, if his doorway is 8 amot wide, he receives an area of 4 amot by 8 amot. If, however, the doorway is less than 4 amot wide, he will nevertheless receive 4 amot squared, the minimum area needed for unloading an animal.
Karochi, driveway. Today is our cars. We don't have animals, but it's our cars today.
So you give him driveway space also.
Yeah, and that's beset from the 4 by 4 amot. Yeah.
Is in the back.
In the front, in the front. No, all everything is in the front. Used to be machaleh. Remember machaleh?
That's not really machaleh. That's not the front.
No, they used to have the main road.
Hello, there's machaleh and there's pshchaleh.
Okay, but the main road. Then there's the alleyway, right? There's the alleyway, and then you have entrance to this house, entrance to that house, entrance to that house, and in this space is the shared courtyards.
Right, that's the pshchaleh.
Good. Now in each courtyard, let's say I have 2 houses, one here and one here, and we share a courtyard. We want to split, so I have to have 4 amot for him and 4 amot for me. And on top of that, we have to say, no, listen, you have to give me room for in front of my house, a driveway, to bring in my animal to
But
unload.
then how does it become a courtyard if we're splitting it?
No, so there's
you have 5-6 houses.
That
means the courtyard is big enough.
That means you still have a courtyard 4 amot for each.
Right.
No,
So really, your courtyard is more, is 8 amot, let's say, or something like
It's
that.
a driveway or a walkway for other people. So if I'm already, this is what I'm trying to say. Imagine there's multiple houses,
Yeah.
right? Just like we have it here.
Yeah.
It's impossible to close it out from both sides because then you cannot pass through.
Right.
You're saying if you go to Great Neck, you have those hills that you go up and there's like house. So imagine instead of their backyard,
You're
you
talking
take a
about
front yard.
no, you're talking about the front. We're talking about the
But
back.
that's saying,
You know,
Everything's in the front. Everything is in the front. Everything is in the front. Everything is in the front.
You'll have less in the back. They'll push it to the back.
The house will be all the way to the back of the property, and the front will have all the grass. Okay, Tanya Namihachi, we learned the Braita like this also. And Cholkin et Chatzer, we do not divide a courtyard against the person's will. Ache bashmone amod lezeh, shmone amod lezeh. Until you have 8 amot for this one, 8 amot for that one. No, because now you need 4 for the driveway. See, so you see.
So you need 4 driveway and 4 for the actual courtyard.
Right. But the Gemara says, but we learned in our Mishnah, arba amod lezeh, arba amod lezeh. I thought it was 4 and 4. Why are you saying 8?
That's what I said.
Elish Mamina must be Kedar Ravasi, like Ravasi, that you have to give 4 extra for the driveway. Shmamina, we learn from here this halacha. Baruch Nayolam. Amen, amen.